Today on Mod Summed Up, we are summarizing Mekanism by Aidan C. Brady. Mekanism is a heavy tech mod that solves every problem with more machines. Besides having an outrageous number of machines, Mekanism introduces gases. A gas behaves much like a liquid, but can't be placed in world. Some machines require specific gases to run. Others create and produce gases from other resources. As a bonus, the textures in Mekanism are magnificent, especially with shaders in the version 9.0 trailer. The full rewards from using Mekanism are pretty OP, including processing ores into oblivion and getting 5 ingots for every ore input, filtered mining of in-world ores with minimal setup involved, instantly mining crazy numbers of things with a power tool, a way of creating clay, and Robot. Mekanism isn't crazy OP though. In fact, I see it skipped over by many people in favor of other tech mods. The reason why? Mekanism's infrastructure is quite complicated. To really understand how complicated it is, here's the fast version of everything you need for 5 times ore processing by default. If you have any questions, just remember what I said in slow motion. This may seem intimidating, but it builds off itself, and automation is relatively straightforward. Most features don't require as much work as 5 times ore processing either. There's even a system of upgrades that can make this system run much faster and more efficiently. Mekanism has its own system of piping. This includes a 4-tier system for power, items, liquids, and gases. They can be upgraded in-world using the proper material, and sometimes require being configured in order to function properly. A couple of often overlooked but still crazy cool features of Mekanism include the storage bins that store large quantities of one type of item, the machine factories that allow many operations to occur at once, balloons, more powerful TNT, and the cardboard box that lets you move just about anything. Now let's wrap up with the PackDev's Corner. Mekanism comes in 3 separate mods: the base Mekanism, Mekanism Generators that includes all of the power generation options, and Mekanism Tools that includes vanilla-esque tools for the new resources the mod has to offer. Mekanism has no in-game documentation besides JEI, but is documented moderately well on the official wiki. Mekanism is pretty configurable, even allowing you to disable the compatibility of traditional power types like RF or IC2's EU, as well as adjust almost any number you see in-game. It has built-in Craft Tweaker integration for maximum customization, and has no major performance issues. In total, Mekanism is a crazy tech mod that is extremely powerful in knowledgeable hands. And that's all I have for Mekanism. Thank you for watching Mod Summed Up, the show where we sum up mods.